I'll tell you what, soulmates, we got ourselves a handful of new Marvel Legends reveals that have come out recently. We got some Spider-Man ones, we got some X-Men ones. And I think that these are all ones that people are going to be a little bit pumped about. All the action figure collectors throughout the entire community are going to be pumped about, especially if you're a Spider-Man X-Men fan, obviously. Man, I've been waiting to see some Marvel Legends for a little while. Now it's nice to finally see them. Hills, how you doing? It's good to see you, Hills. What's going on? Moonjid, how you doing? All right, let's talk briefly about these Spider-Man ones, shall we? There's a whole wave of 6 new ones that's coming out, and they're going up for pre-order on the 12th of December. Good? I'm glad you're good. I'm trying out a few new things on here recently. I'm trying to see what sticks the most, if you know what I mean. I will say this, my Nintendo Switch videos are doing okay. I don't know, I got a number of videos that are doing pretty okay for me. Yeah. I figure since the Nintendo Switch videos are doing well for me, I might do something on my Switch stuff tomorrow. Yeah, that's the most you can do is just throw things at the wall, see what works the most. Alright, let me adjust my setup here so that I can actually see what people are saying. And I can also adjust these images as I'm going. There we go. Alright, so there's also a few new reveals that just came to light yesterday on a Marvel Legends Fan First Friday, or whatever they call it. They do. Hasbro does one of these streams every so often where they call some snappy name and then they show us a bunch of reveals. But well, here's another one. This is the Lizard from No Way Home. They've kind of I don't know, twiddled their thumbs releasing Spider-Man No Way Home releases over the past couple of years. It's been 2 years since Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and I guess they're coming out with an Amazon exclusive Lizard release a year after the initial wave of like Spider-Man No Way Home Marvel Legends they came out with. That wave had Doc Ock, Green Goblin, 3 versions of Spider-Man, Matt Murdock. I can't remember if there was anyone else, but like, good God, this is a year after the fact. I wonder what took them so long. It's nice that they're finally releasing it. Just, thank you, I think. At least for all the people who were nerding out, who simped over Spider-Man No Way Home, they're going to be pretty pumped, I guess. It's a cool-looking action figure. I mean, it's an MCU action figure, so it's certainly not lacking any detail or anything like that. Here, I'm going to ask a poll for everyone coming on in. Because I'm a little bit curious how everyone feels about this. Spider-Man or X-Men? Which do people prefer? I have a funny feeling it's probably going to be Spider-Man, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to ask. I see it, they've got him posed, they've got the Lizard here posed alongside the Alfred Molina Doc Ock action figure, as well as the Willem Dafoe Green Goblin. Those are both pretty good action figures, to be honest, and I guess it shouldn't be any great surprise that this one's a pretty decent action figure, too. They didn't really slack off on any of the No Way Home releases, so I'm not surprised that this looks pretty okay. It appears to be an Amazon exclusive. That's going to rile some people up. Honestly, a lot of Amazon exclusives seem like they do pretty fine. I guess it just depends on how available it is, because sometimes they put these things up on Amazon, then like you can never get a copy of it, and sometimes they put it up and it's really easy to get. It being a Spider-Man release, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's probably going to be a little bit of a hassle. But I might be surprised on that. Maybe they've gotten a little bit better about distributing these things and meeting demand. I do know that whenever like DC Multiverse does an Amazon release, it's a little bit easier to get than say a Marvel Legends release. Marvel Legends releases, if they're popular at all, like they're a Spider-Man character. If they're not a Spider-Man character, it's not that bad. If it's a Spider-Man character, good luck. Yeah, let me zoom in a little bit closer on the Lizard here. Yeah, that's a pretty cool rendition. Lots of... God. They've got the scales on the skin really well detailed here. The sculpt here is immaculate. I shouldn't have. I didn't expect anything less from the lizard from Marvel Legends. Yeah, they really pull out all the stops in Spider-Man.
It's time for Who Do You Trust? Hubba, hubba, hubba. Money, money, money. Who do you trust?
Why you do this to me, SK? I have to pick between my two faves, zany face, embarrassed smiley face, hand over mouth.
Well, to be fair, I didn't do it to you. Hasbro did. Of course, I set up the poll, so I guess it is me. Thank you for that $5 super chat, Hills. Here, I'm going to put on my poop hat, because I'm a real kind of guy sometimes. And cheers to that, Hills. Let's have a sippy sip for you. I appreciate that. You know, all the reveals that they showed yesterday were all Spider-Man and X-Men reveals. So I thought they were going to show off something else, at least something else, but no, it was literally all Spider-Man and X-Men. I was a little bit surprised by it, not like in a bad way. I was just like, well, okay. This is going to be awfully easy for me because those are probably some of the two of the sets of characters that I probably know most about. I think you will buy them all. I mean, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you're probably going to want this. If you like No Way Home at all, I don't know. Did any of you guys like Spider-Man No Way Home? I made my feelings about Spider-Man No Way Home very obvious when they announced they were going to start making Marvel Legends for this. I said that the figures look awesome, but I didn't like the movie. I thought the movie was like just a nostalgia trip, and a lot of movies are like that. It's not just Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home kind of felt like a nostalgia trip. Alien Romulus felt like that. The Force Awakens felt like that. Like, it's one of those movies. A lot of people loved Alien Romulus too. I didn't like it as much as some other people did. I felt like I was just watching like a bunch of callbacks to previous movies, and then I found myself saying, you know, if I wanted that, I'd just go watch those movies because they're perfectly fine. They hold up. Aliens, still the goats. But hey, like I say, what do I know? That's why I'm wearing the poop hat, guys, because sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about. You hate the Star Wars 7 through 9. They don't exist. I'll say this. Rise of Skywalker was one of the worst movies I've ever seen legitimately. I was taken aback how abysmal it was. I did not expect it to be that bad. I thought it would at least be as, like, okay. Because The Force Awakens, I mean, it was sort of okay. Last Jedi was okay. Rise of Skywalker, that was garbage. Oh my god. I couldn't believe they put that in theaters. Somehow, Palpatine returned. I should have walked out of the theater at that point. I should have demanded my money back. Alright. One of the other... we're not talking about the wave of Spider-Man action figures yet, but this is another exclusive that's going to Walmart, apparently. This is 70s Spider-Man. For all you guys don't know out there, there was like a TV show, a very brief TV show back in the 70s that was live action that featured, of course, Spider-Man. And they'd have a live action Spider-Man. He looked pretty close to this, to be honest. This one, it's okay. Like, it's pretty obvious they're just trying to get it out there. This one uses the exact same body that the previously released Japanese Spider-Man used. They made a Japanese Spider-Man action figure because there was a Japanese Spider-Man TV show that it was fairly popular in Japan, but people in America haven't really seen much of it because they never really released it outside of Japan. But periodically you can see it in different spaces. Whenever they elect to go ahead and post the episodes, right? But regardless, it was a fairly popular show. They made an action figure of it, and yeah, people seem to enjoy that action figure. And now here we are with the live-action 1970 Spider-Man using the exact same body. I think that they're borrowing the body from like a Reed Richards, a Mr. Fantastic action figure or something. I can't remember exactly where they're pulling the body from.
Stop right there. I'm in.
Hello, Kitty Plays. Thank you for the thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. It's good to have you here. They did goose up this action figure a little bit, I guess. They threw a couple of webs in the package. That's pretty cool. That's nice. They got a couple extra hands. That's to be expected. Every Marvel Legend has extra hands, right? And then what they did was they put these web shooters on his wrist and they gave him the belt. See, yeah, that's like the coup de grace here, along with the extra head. That's pretty much all they did here. Everything else is just exactly like Japanese Spider-Man was. And if you just want a representation of the 1970 Spider-Man action figure, I guess this is pretty good. If you're like me and you just look at the quality, you know, quote unquote quality of these action figures, and think to yourself, man, that looks very much exactly the same, doesn't it? And you say, yes, it does, Soulkeeper. Well, I mean, if you already have Japanese Spider-Man, you might not necessarily need this one. If you don't have Japanese Spider-Man, well, maybe this one's worth your time. Yeah, I'll say that. If you don't have Japanese Spider-Man, and you love the 1970s TV series, I think you'll probably enjoy this one. But fair warning, that is what it is. A lot of reuse, but maybe that doesn't bother you. This is a pretty cool pose, though. I like this. Look at this shot that they whipped up. I don't know what they're doing in the graphic design department over at Hasbro, but those guys are working overtime. They deserve a raise, because they really goose up these action figures and make them look nice. Walmart exclusive. Oh, God. Well, let's talk about the Walmart exclusive thing for a minute. Walmart exclusives suck. Walmart... I was talking about Amazon being a hassle. Walmart is the worst of all. Walmart is one of the worst places you could possibly have an exclusive. Odick, how's it going? Good to see you. I'll tell you this, guys. Anytime there is an action figure exclusive at Walmart, it is a friggin' nightmare. Both Marvel Legends and DC Multiverse. I remember there was a cel-shaded retro Spider-Man action figure that I wanted to buy at Walmart like over a year ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, but I tried. Every time pre-orders went up, they immediately sold out. The place is riddled with bots. Yeah, I know, Odick. Literally anything you need to get, if it's at Walmart, exclusively at Walmart, good luck, buddy. There was another time where I wanted to buy a Batman action figure. It was this Nightfall Batman that was like the guy that replaced Batman during a storyline. That was a Walmart exclusive, and it was a pretty cool action figure. I got a hold of it eventually, but good God, they did not make it easy. I had to get lucky one day, and I just bought it. And, well, apparently no one saw it. That's happened to me a couple of times on Walmart, where I've just gotten lucky by clicking refresh a whole bunch of times, and lo and behold, hey, they had it in stock. That's probably going to be the case here. So guys, if you want this one, I mean, say your prayers, cross your hearts, and hope that maybe the internet isn't too brutal on us that day. Oh, that's a nice backdrop. Okay, he looks kind of... Alright, the previous pose looked pretty cool. He looks kind of dorky here. I think this is a shot from the show, though. That's kind of fun. To be fair, 1970s Spider-Man was kind of a dork anyway, so whatever. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the retro wave, which I think is probably the real meat and potatoes of what we're going to be dealing with here. Alright. So the first action figure from this wave that I think is, well, this one I think is really exciting. This is the Chameleon. And the Chameleon is one of the Spider-Man characters I think a lot of Marvel Legends and Marvel fans have been clamoring for a while. Yeah, how's it going, Odick? Just hanging out? The Chameleon here is a pretty simple action figure at heart. Hello, K-Mac. How's it going? He comes with a floppy J. Jonah Jameson face. Curiously, he doesn't come with any extra heads. And I say curiously because if you guys are familiar with the Chameleon that was in like the 1990s Spider-Man action figure line, that figure very notably came with extra heads. Of course, this is 2024, and Marvel Legends being what they are, you don't necessarily have to have extra heads with the Chameleon. Because what happens, you know, you can just remove the heads on these guys. If you don't know, guys, you can literally just pop the heads off them, and you can put any old head on them that you want. So no need for extra heads anymore in 2024. It's nice. Like what used to be a really cool action feature is now just you know, a rote thing that people do. They pop the heads off and put a new head on, right? It's kind of funny how time marches on. He comes with the J. Jonah Jameson's face, it looks like, and he comes with some extra hands. So it's a pretty bare bones package. It does look like he's using some pretty basic legs here. It looks like he's using the new... It kind of looks like he's using some legs from like a very basic body, like maybe the Vulcan body. That's an action figure that came out in like early 2022, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then the rest of him looks like he's using a lot of the Red Skull. I kind of figured that they would use a lot of the Red Skull action figure from the 2021 Bring on the Bad Guys line on the Chameleon, because their suits are just very, very similar. I even thought they would use the legs, but apparently they decided to go with a more of a skin-tight look on the legs. But the rest of this is just all the Red Skull, it looks like, I think. And then he's got like the little collar too. I'm pretty sure that's like a new piece that they slapped on the neck. Got your date tonight. Well, I hope that date night goes well, Hills. God, I hope it does, because you deserve it. You know something? I'm looking at this, and it kind of, I mean, the resolution on this is not all that I would hope it would be. I was kind of hoping for more 4K resolution, but we're not getting that 4K resolution on this. I'm looking at these gauntlets, these bands on his wrist, or these bands on his forearms, and it kind of looks like the Baron Zemo release. I know, I don't think it is because I don't really see the lines, but it reminds me of that. Now I'm looking at this and wondering how brittle this is going to be, because I remember having the Baron Zemo Marvel Legend that came out of Walgreens a little while ago, and what happened with that one is when I got it out of the package and I started posing it, the gauntlet literally broke off the arm. Like, the glue was not there. It didn't hold. This broke off of Baron Zemo, and I was not happy with that action figure. And now I'm wondering here on the Chameleon, when we get this one out of the package, is the same thing going to happen, or is the quality control going to be a little bit nicer on this? I'm really hoping that the quality control is going to be up to snuff, because God, for a while Marvel Legends was getting pretty bad. They've gotten a lot better since I reviewed that action figure, thankfully. But man, I still remember that action figure vividly, because I was really excited for that one. I opened it up and then I got a lot less excited. Anyways, do we have another shot of this guy? Ah, this one's a little bit higher res. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that totally looks like a separate piece that they slapped on, and this looks like yeah, this is nice. Of all like the action figures that they've debuted, this is one of the ones I think I would be most excited about. Just you know, the Chameleon from Spider-Man the Animated Series. This particular wave that they're showing off here. Let's go back and take a brief look at here. Is this it? No, that's not it. Is this it? Yes, it is. This wave seems to be like part Spider-Man TV series releases, because there's a couple of those here, and then others of these are kind of just comic book releases. It's a mixed bag. Although you can tell that some of these have different card backs. I call them like retro releases, but it's just generic Spider-Man stuff. Because you notice that they have a more modern card on more modern releases, and then they have the vintage, like retro card, the 90s style card on these older style releases, or these action figures that are more like nostalgia-based action figures, I guess you'd call them. Here, let's go look at something past the Chameleon, guys, because there's a few more of these that we should look at, I think. All right, so this one's more of like a, you know, the quote-unquote modern type action figure. This one is Agent Venom. This character was originally a Walgreens exclusive. God, they did a lot of Walgreens exclusives that are pretty cool exclusives. But it looks like we're getting one in this line, and it's nice to see this, because this looks like a very good release. I mean, look at that sculpt, guys. That sculpt is insane. This is awesome. That's a good action figure. I mean, look at that. Got a torso rocker. Look at that. Yeah, torso rocker all around. Lots of nice sculpting details. No, nice accessories. This one slaps, guys. Here, do they have another shot of him? Well, they don't have like a good shot of him, but they got a shot of him in the package, and that package is loaded, it looks like. Oh, yeah. It's got an extra head, a couple of guns, some extra hands. Yeah, this one is great. I love this action figure, dude. This is like one of the ones to get from this wave, I think. Check it out, man. Oh yeah. I got no notes here, I think. It's great. Love it. Yeah, good luck with the date, Hills. You know, you deserve a good date, especially, well, I don't need to bring it up. You deserve a good date. Let's see here. People are voting, you know, overwhelmingly for Spider-Man, it looks like. See, I saw that coming. Spider-Man, he's the GOAT, always has been, always will be. You can always bet on Spider-Man, guys. You know, if you see a clown 2 dates in a row, Hills, I'm going to be really impressed. Like, if I get on Kick tonight and you start talking about clowns again, I'm going to roll over in my chair. I might croak on stream. End me. I can't take it anymore. This next action figure, guys, is another really cool release, I think. This is Kane. This one is based on the comic book series The Clone Wars, and is it Clone Wars? Oh, Maximum Clonage is what they call it. That's right. Not Clone Wars. What am I thinking? I'm having a brain fart, guys. But yeah, Maximum Clonage. So, yeah, this is like one of those characters that they whipped up back in like the mid to late 90s. And it's a what Kane is, if you don't know, is effectively like a bad clone of Peter Parker. Yeah. He didn't come out right, essentially. And this is the action figure they whipped up for him. This action figure is really cool. He's got an ab crunch. I think that it works for this action figure because if we look up close, we have like a clearer shot. Yeah, we do. Check this out, guys. All right, so they've got some really nice sculpting here on this one. You'll see that there's a lot of like, I can tell based on the lighting that there's a lot of sculptural elements here. There's relief elements all over the legs, all over the arms, all over the torso. They did this torso ab crunch, I think, to accommodate the designs on his body, and it works for me because like it doesn't break up the lines all that much. It's very, very nice, and the sculpting they did here is immaculate. This is top-notch work, I think, and a very choice design they got on the body. I love what they did with this one. This is like along with Agent Venom and Chameleon, I think my favorites of all these reveals here. This is great. Really, really nice work from Hasbro, guys, and the details are so good. I don't know, I don't know. They got some pretty tight releases here in this retro wave. I keep calling it a retro wave, even though it's like not all retro. We're just gonna call it a retro wave just for the sake of shorthand, right? I know, Hills. So random. What? Kane? Well, you know, Marvel Legends people have been wanting to see a Kane action figure for ages, and a Chameleon for that matter too. So this is like a wave that's just kind of all coming together at once, I think. Like between Kane and Chameleon, I think people are just going to be stoked for this because this is really nice. Honestly, I was expecting to see a Kane eventually. I was not expecting him to be as nice as he is. I thought that this was mostly just going to be like paint and deco, right? I thought that all these things on his body were just going to be a bunch of like fly-by-night paint deco on some random generic body, but no, they pulled all the stops on this one. They did a hell of a job. God, all these characters so far, yeah, it's more of a broad sampling than a themed wave. If I had my pick, I'd probably go with a themed wave over just a bunch of random characters, but I guess if it's selling better for them to just do random characters, then, well, that's why they're doing it, right? I prefer the themed waves, though. Just because that's the kind of guy I am. Here's another nice shot of Kane. Yeah. Every angle you see this one from, it slaps. It's so good. Why is it so good? Probably because they wanted to put their best foot forward. I'm really glad to see that they are putting their best foot forward. Because I remember I was talking for Marvel Legends for a while, like probably the first year that I was talking about toys on YouTube. Marvel Legends were kind of all over the place. They were brutal. Like, not at first. Like, they were okay when I first started talking about them. The second year I started talking about them, they really sucked for like a year. And then after another year they got good, and now they've stayed good, and thank God. The luscious hair is doing it. I mean, yeah, as bad of a clone as he is, he's always had a luscious mane of hair. It's truly inspiring. Mind you, this is a bad Peter Parker clone. Yeah, this is an evil Peter Parker clone, but a really cool character nonetheless. Alright, so another action figure from this wave, guys, is Spider-Man Unlimited. This is based on the TV show, and it's not bad. It's decent. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It's just I don't know if I really have a hankering for this action figure personally. It's pretty cool looking. It's got some paint deco on the legs. It's got some nice sculpting on the body. Yeah, it's Spider-Man Unlimited. I did notice that some people were complaining. Actually, you know, you look at the legs here. This doesn't look quite right, does it? It might just be the way that the calf is twisted. I don't know. Sometimes when they got like these boot cuts on the action figures, it doesn't look quite right. That's probably what's going on here. Yeah, it's probably just twisted. I was thinking, man, those don't really match up. It's probably just because it's twisted. But anyway, I saw some people complaining about this action figure because it doesn't have cell shading, when it's one that they think could actually use the cell shading. Because I think there was, I haven't seen too much of Spider-Man Unlimited, but they did have significant cell shading on the show, so they might have a point about that. Nevertheless, I think this one looks pretty okay. I don't think it looks bad or anything like that. I don't have a lot of notes about this one. It's got a couple of sets of extra hands. That's pretty boilerplate stuff on Spider-Man action figures. It doesn't feel like they were concentrating a lot of their energy on this action figure, but they were concentrating maybe a little bit of it, because it's still got an okay sculpt as far as things go. Just not really seeing the level of care that I feel like we saw in the previous releases so far, or the previous action figures we talked about. Alright guys, I'm gonna level with you. I can't even remember what the hell the name of this one is. I'm not that familiar with this character. Spider-Boy. Spider-Boy. He seems alright. He's based on, like... Okay, I'm looking at this one. It seems like he's based a little bit on a Miles Morales action figure, and he's based a little bit on an Ultimate Spider-Man action figure. Like this, some of this torso I recognize from an Ultimate Spider-Man release that was in a box a little while ago that was released on Amazon. That was taken from another Ultimate Spider-Man action figure released back in like 2015. I guess that's what I'm thinking here. Like a lot of this one looks and feels kind of old. Like, it looks a little dated. And I think it feels like they've kind of cobbled together pieces of different characters to make this one. Because the legs, they kind of look like they belong to a Miles Morales action figure that I've seen. Because there was a Miles Morales action figure that had like these kicks on it, right? And I think that's what we're seeing here. So this one's kind of like an amalgam of several different action figures. I'm not in love with it. I think it's kind of a rush job. It feels pretty fly-by-night. I think the only people that were gonna really love this one are like completionists and fans of the character. And yeah, that's about it. Comes with an extra head, comes with an accessory, comes with a set of extra hands, so it's not like it's a terrible package or anything. Just I'm not in love with the design of it. I think the other action figures they had in this line are better. This one I kind of like though. Lady Electro Francine Fry. What a lovely name. Very comic booky name. But seriously, look at this. Alright, so you know, she's on a very basic lady body here, but I don't know, something about this one. I guess I just really like the paint deco on it. I think I really like the way her mask is constructed. I like the special effects. Something about this one just kind of works for me. I don't know. I guess I like lady villains. I can't help myself. I just like to see like a good lady, you know, lady action figures. I don't feel like there's enough of them. And anytime they do one that's like halfway decent, I kind of go, yeah, that's the stuff right there. God, I wish that they would make a few more of the ladies, man. Fine, just for the effects. I mean, go get on with your bad self if you want it just for the effects. Full Metal Rants. She's badass, Lynn. I know. Look at her. She looks really evil, doesn't she? Like, look at that face. That lady is enjoying what she does. I think they have another shot of her over here. Yeah, they do. Look at that face. Come on, that's the face of evil. God, she's a little scary, isn't she? Holy crap. Yeah. I'm not in love with the body. The body is pretty, like, generic, but the face sculpt is undeniably really nice. Hot damn, Lady Electro. Yeah, the face sculpt is incredible, and the special effects, like, the special effects are doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Because you look at the body, you know, it's all right. I mean, it's a generic lady body with a lot of paint deco, and then there's a little plastic piece that's tacked around her waist. Okay, I mean, no one's really surprised by that, because this is probably not one where they're going to concentrate a lot of their energy, because it's not like a character that tons and tons of people are going to have that nostalgia for. They really focus a lot of their energy on the ones that have tons of nostalgia attached, because they know people are going to buy those up. This one, just because it has the name Electra on it, might not warm shelves as much, but it's probably going to warm shelves a little bit along with, like, along with that previous Spider-Man we just looked at. I think those two are really going to warm shelves, unfortunately. But I still like this one. I still think it's nice. And I like the way that they're portraying it here. Let's see. Alright, now we're getting into, like, X-Men stuff, it looks like. That's cool. Man, that was all the Spider-Man stuff that we had to look at. That was cool. Hello, Red. How's it going? I hope that you're doing well today, dude. Well, let me tell you something, guys. We've got a whole nother set of action figures to look at. This is like X-Men stuff. And let's start with, like, let's just start with, like, I guess the Target exclusive stuff. So, one of these Target exclusives that we're getting is Professor X from the Savage Land. Savage Land Professor X. This one is a little bit Red Skull, a little bit Wonder Man. It looks very reminiscent of, like, what we got from a couple of different action figures, and it looks like they've given it, of course, a new head. I recognize the upper body from Wonder Man, I believe, and I feel like I recognize it from Wonder Man, and I believe I recognize the lower body from Red Skull. So, you know, as they make Marvel Legends, they kind of cobble together a bunch of different features to make new action figures. Hashtag cost cutting, right? But he's not bad looking. It all works together, I think. And like, I mean, essentially, this is the Savage Land Professor X, so it's smart reuse, I think. He comes with his Cerebro helmet, comes with a few extra hands here. It's not a bad release. It's good, especially if you're, like, a fan of X-Men and a fan of the Savage Land stuff. I like how they have Safari Suit listed as a feature. Yes, it is. Safari Professor X. Here's a shot of him with his helmet on. Yeah, he looks cool. I like this one. This is a nice action figure. Here he is beside Kazar. Kazar with, all the accoutrement. It's a cool release. I don't mind it. Alright, let's take a look overall at this new wave of X-Men action figures, guys, because there's like a whole new wave. This one isn't going to be available for pre-order for a little while, looks like. This one is, well, they didn't say, it doesn't say that's going up for pre-order. It says available later in 2025. Whenever, I guess. But this wave looks like it's going to have Wolverine. It looks like it's going to have Fabian Cortez, one of Magneto's, or one of the acolytes, I guess you could just say. Husk from Generation X, Gambit, Age of Apocalypse Gambit. This is, I believe it's, I want to say Ultimate Wolverine. Yeah, I believe that's Ultimate Wolverine. This is X-Force Nightcrawler. Or I have to rack my brain a little bit when I think about this. Yeah. These do not look bad. This is a pretty decent wave overall, I would say, Red. It has Marrow. That's another like Age of Apocalypse action figure. And then Cyclops, which is not X-Force. I don't think. No, I don't think it's X-Force because it's got the yellow on it. X-Force, actually, God. I'm thinking right now. I'm pretty sure this is just like a stock X-Men character because I think this is like, I'm pretty sure Cyclops was wearing like this yellow X in like the late 80s, I want to say. Was he? Oh, God. What was he wearing, this yellow X? They actually just released a Rogue recently, Hills. I do believe they just released a Rogue recently. X-Men took over the poll, huh? Alright, the X-Men fans have come trickling in. Well, I'm not complaining about that. Welcome in, guys. Alright, so let's take a closer look at, like, these X-Men releases here. This is Marrow, guys, and this is one of my absolute favorites from this wave. I really enjoy it. She's got, like, these lovely bone details. She's got, like, some nice sculptural elements on her. This works for me. This is a great action figure, I think. One of the best from the wave. It looks like she comes with... Well, it's kind of hard to get a sense of everything that she comes with, but she comes with a couple of extra hands, it looks like, and then she comes with some bone accessories, obviously. I mean, it's right there in the name. Marrow, right? I love her sculpt. Her head sculpt looks... It's a pretty neutral head sculpt. It's not too fierce. Doesn't have any like weird facial features or anything like that. It's just pretty... It's not doing anything out of the ordinary. It's just there. But I still really like this one. Some parts of it feel kind of generic, but then again, her costume can be a little generic in some places where we don't see bone textures. Regardless, I think that it very much captures the essence of the character. Very nice. Looking up close at it. Ah, yeah. Yeah, they got it good here. Totally one of the best from this wave, I think. Oh, they got another pose of her right here. Yeah, that looks really cool, doesn't it? Just crouched and ready for action. Oh, God. I wouldn't want to deal with her bone knife. Alright, so here's the back of her. Oh, I was actually kind of curious about this. This is what the back of her looks like. She's got the bones sticking out of the back, and God! Yeah, that's really nice. Oh, man, she's got some junk on the trunk, too, doesn't she? God damn. Alright. 90s animated X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons were unrivaled. Yeah, they're pretty good. I liked X-Men 97. I thought that show, I watched that show on Disney Plus. I thought it was really good. I want to see more of it. I also like that they started using like different costumes on the show instead of just the Jim Lee costumes. I don't know. I was kind of pleasantly surprised to see that they were pulling out some 80s costumes to mix things up. Because I don't feel like the 80s costumes get enough love for the X-Men. Like, I know I keep saying this, but the John Romita 1980s run is probably my favorite version of the X-Men. Like, I don't think anyone else likes that X-Men, but I like that X-Men team. I don't know, just something about it feels good to me. Like, it had Wolverine, Colossus, Rogue, Storm, Nightcrawler, Kitty Pryde. Something about all that just works for me. I guess it just had a broad assortment of personalities and a broad assortment of looks, and the looks just felt good. And the stories they were telling were really nice too. And I don't know, there was a certain rawness about the artwork that I think got to me too. All right, so here's Cyclops, guys. There's I mean, it's a cool action figure. It's Cyclops. It's very obviously using the Vulcan body for this, and there's no great surprises there. It makes good sense for him to use the Vulcan body because Vulcan is Cyclops' sibling, right? So they're probably just gonna repaint Vulcan and call it a day, and that's essentially what they did here. He's got the optic blast. He's got this cool head sculpt. It looks like he's really charging the battle. I think that the highlight of this one has got to be the optic blast here. Like, look at the blast effect on that. That is awesome. That's literally I mean, this isn't bad. This is a good Cyclops, but god dang, that optic blast is amazing. Still hoping for an updated classic Beta Ray Bill. Well, I'm sure it's on their to-do list. I mean, of all the Toy Biz action figures they haven't done, there's not a lot anymore, but Beta Ray Bill is one of them. For some reason, they haven't gotten around to Beta Ray Bill. They'll probably do it one of these days. I have faith. Alright, so here's just like a stock version. Okay, I guess that Cyclops comes with an extra head. A calm head. That's cool. Yeah, this is a nice action figure. I think that this one is probably most appealing if you're a fan of like this era of his costume, slash if you don't already have a Cyclops. Like, I kind of like Cyclops. I don't love Cyclops, but I kind of like him too. I think my favorite Cyclops costume is the white version of this. I don't know, I kind of like that X-Force costume, you know what I mean? The white costume that's got like, well, not, how do I put this? The version that he had in like the late 80s X-Men comics, before Jim Lee came rolling around. I like the white X that's on his costume in those. It's really cool looking. A lot of people are probably going to feel like the Jim Lee costume is better. I don't like the Jim Lee costume all that much. I feel like the Jim Lee costume was just way too busy, like a lot of his other costumes. Oh, can't wait for the hate comments to come rolling in about me talking about Jim Lee. Here's Age of Apocalypse. Actually, is this Age of Apocalypse Wolverine? I feel like it is. Not Age of Apocalypse, Ultimate Wolverine. My bad. God, I keep like changing Ultimate with Age of Apocalypse for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know. I just keep having these brain farts, guys. Anyway, this is like this is just a pretty stock Wolverine action figure, I think. It's got a few things that are a little bit different about it, like the legs do look a little bit different. Looks like they've got some different boots on there and stuff. They goosed him up to make him look a little bit more like this version of the character. He's got a nice utility belt and everything. He is looking very short and stocky, so he is looking pretty cool there. And I mean, this is nice. Yeah, looks like they're doing a few different things on here. Yeah, this is one that's a little bit more under the radar, I think. But like the upper body looks pretty much like a stock Wolverine. There's different stuff going on his lower body, though. It looks like they've done a little bit of work on this one to make it look more like this version of the character. That's a pretty cool detail. I like this one, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this one, along with Marrow, probably probably one of my favorites from this wave. This is cool, and I really love this screaming head sculpt for Logan too. Like screaming head sculpts, I know I keep mentioning this, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Sometimes they're pretty hit and miss for me, but this one, I don't know, on a Wolverine it feels right to have a screaming head sculpt. Thanks for all those likes, guys. Screaming head sculpt. There's a few characters where it feels like you should have it. Wolverine is one. Sabretooth is another. Exactly, it captures the rage. Characters where like one of their hallmark characteristics is rage. A screaming head sculpt, no brainer. Gotta have it. You can't have a guy who's calm. And also on characters where their power is like maybe screaming, like say Banshee or Siren, a screaming head sculpt is a no-brainer. I remember they released Siren, they didn't include a screaming head sculpt with her. I'm pretty sure they didn't. My memory is a little hazy on that, but I don't remember them including a screaming head sculpt with that one, and I remember slapping my forehead and going, what were they thinking? Why would you, of all the characters not to have one on, why would you give her the neutral face? Yeah, I would agree that eventually they gotta retire it from Wolverine, but like, it's one that still works. It doesn't look bad. I like, yeah, it's getting a little old at this point, but I'm at some point where I would like to see more of a torso rocker on Wolverine instead of this ab crunch, because we've been seeing the ab crunch on Wolverine for a good long time now. Long time. And, well, the day they come up with that torso rocker is going to be a good day indeed for a good generic Wolverine. It'll be a good day for all the Marvel Legends collectors out there. Here's another shot of Wolverine. Yeah, like I say, the upper body is looking a little dated at this point. This is looking really nice. Like this looks like, here's what I'm noticing. This feels kind of old. This looks really modern. I don't know. It's getting to the point where they're doing so much like new stuff with these action figures that you can see a division between the old and the new on them. And the closer you look on this one, the more evident it becomes. But I still think that from far away, like, it reads really well. And if you're playing around with these constantly, you'll notice it more. But if you're just putting them on like a setup or something, posing them and calling it a day, looking at them, admiring them from afar, you're not going to notice it all that much. Oh, here's another cool shot of him, like, charging. Oh, that's awesome. These Marvel Legends photographers, man, like I said, they deserve a raise. They really goose these action figures up nice, don't they? This is one of those instances, too, where that head sculpt really works, man. God, Wolverine looks mad. I wonder what someone did to get him all PO'd. You would use the 85 years Wolverine head on this. Oh, yeah? I bet that'd look really cool. Alright, so, you know, here's Husk. This one reuses the previous... If it looks like a very familiar action figure, that's because it uses the exact same body that was released in early... Actually, what? God. My mind, the name of the character that uses this exact same body is slipping me, but they're using the exact same body that they previously released, down to the lack of a zipper on the lower torso. They didn't... Monet. Yeah, that's the one. Monet. It's the exact same body. Don't even have a zipper on it still. All they did was change the head. Alright, so this is probably my least favorite one. Simply because, it's just the same old action figure again with a different head. Honestly, I don't know, man. It's alright. It's got some cool details. The head sculpts are nice. Like, yeah, that looks really brutal. That looks really cool. Alright, admittedly, that's a really cool look. It's very brutal. Like, I mean, she's literally holding her skin in her hand. That's kind of, ooh, that's pretty gnarly, man. That goes hard. I don't know. I just don't like the body that much. I don't think I liked it that well the first time, and it's kind of rubbing me the wrong way again the second time around. Still, good head sculpts. Jesus Christ, alright. Come on, look at that. What the hell? Oh boy. Yeah, that goes really hard. Jesus Christ, they're really making the most out of that. Whew. I bet they're gonna love stocking that in stores. Alright, we got X-Force Nightcrawler over here, guys. I mean, yeah, it's Nightcrawler. Yeah, it's Nightcrawler. God, doesn't that that looks really cool. I have to admit, that's pretty insane looking. That's really metal. God. Like, I'm not in love, I say I'm not in love with the body, but I am in love with the special effect they're doing on that. That is the selling point right there. That is what is going to move this action figure, because that is so cool looking. God almighty, Hasbro. The brass balls on that team. You know what? Sometimes you gotta pump the gas to sell action figures, fam. I'll tell you this though, it's Nightcrawler, so I'm not sure they're gonna have to pump the gas all that hard to move Nightcrawler, because Nightcrawler is one of those perennial favorites across X-Men fans, and for good reason, because Nightcrawler slaps. And this is X-Force Nightcrawler. Not too much to say about it. I mean, yeah, it's Nightcrawler, and they got the colors right here. Yeah, it's Nightcrawler. If you want an X-Force Nightcrawler, this is the one. Here he is, guys. I think, well, it's a nice action figure. Probably my least favorite thing is the ab crunch instead of the torso rocker. They still got that ab crunch waist swivel on this, and for, you know, for people who want more newer stuff, I guess they're gonna, you know, they might hem and haw over it. There's no pins on these, by the way. That is a nice feature. I don't know. I haven't talked about pins in a long time. I guess I haven't really noticed them because Marvel Legends has been going pinless for so long. But yeah, I haven't really noticed pins on any of these. Have there been pins on any of these? Now that I've been going along, I don't think there have been. I think they've kind of transitioned to completely pinless at this point. This isn't a bad action figure at all. I think, did the X-Men 97 Nightcrawler use the same torso as this one? Or is this using like an older torso? I feel like the newer Nightcrawler used something different, but I might be wrong about that. Because I didn't cover that one. Well, regardless, he looks cool. Looks very nice, and like, look, look at the, God, the way they got this situated. Look at this camera work here. Looks like he's making me beg for my life. I love it. Hasbro, you wily SOBs. Ah, yeah, that's good. It's a nice action figure all around. This is a good wave. This is a decent wave, guys. Oh God, he comes with a couple extra heads. It looks like because he's got the calm head, and then he's got the battle ready head, and then of course he comes with this saber. Because you know, Nightcrawler is all about two things: teleporting and sword work. Oh, also he's about Catholicism. Oh, and also he's very German. So I guess he's about four things. Well, the other ones from this wave, guys, is Age of Apocalypse Gambit. Age of Apocalypse Gambit, I think, looks great. I don't have too much to say about him because I think he's a great action figure. Yeah, captures all the details of this version of the character very, very well. Some people said they didn't like the head sculpt. I wasn't really seeing it. I thought it looked like it was captured straight from a comic book panel. Because I swear to God that I have seen Gambit looking like this in various Age of Apocalypse comic books. I love the look of this. There's a lot of texture on like his costume. There's a lot of texture all throughout, and that's true to this version of the character. I think that the cape has that lovely folded look to it that makes it look like it's just draped over him. That's how it should look. He comes with his staff too. Yeah, right. This is a good Gambit. This is a good Age of Apocalypse Gambit. So if you want one, I mean, here he is. He's awesome, man. The build-a-figure for this wave looks like it's Nemesis, aka Holocaust. It's cool. I really like this. This is a really neat build-a-figure, guys. I was kind of hoping that he would look a little bit more yellow, but it still looks really cool. I don't know. I was kind of hoping for maybe a little bit more traditional look from the. I mean, yeah, this is a really cool look. I was kind of hoping for maybe a little bit more traditional Age of Apocalypse look as far as like Nemesis goes, but you know what? We'll just we'll take it because it still looks awesome. These Build-A-Figures they've been cranking out recently have been really nice. Like Blackheart was one that they cranked out recently. That one was really cool, and this one is just as cool as I think. This is a nice wave of Marvel Legends. I think that this wave and the last wave of Marvel Legends they did, which was, I'm pretty sure, the Blackheart wave, those are both pretty good waves of Build-A-Figure waves of Marvel Legends. I haven't kept a lot of tabs on Marvel Legends recently, but I looked over the Blackheart wave pretty recently, and I was pretty impressed by several different action figures from that wave, and you know, I'm pretty impressed by several different action figures from this wave too. Last action figure from this wave is one that we saw pretty recently. Fabian Cortez was his name, and let me see here if I can find him, because they have him. Well, here's Nemesis standing amongst a bunch of other characters from the wave. There's Fabian Cortez in the background. Excuse me, in the background, one of the acolytes, and he's pretty okay. I think that he's probably my least favorite character from this wave. Ironically, I'm not in love with him, He feels like he's just a little... It feels like they've tacked on a few too many things to make him work. The head sculpt and maybe his gloves and boots are my favorite thing about him. Otherwise, I don't know, this feels a little 2015 to me. I don't know, it looks like an action figure that would have been released 10 years ago, is what I'm saying. Whereas Nemesis here looks a lot more modern. This looks like an action figure that belongs in 2024. You know, we're getting to the point where you can tell which action figures look like they belong in 2024, 25, and which action figures are starting to show their age. You know, that's just what we call time marching on. This one is so good. Does this come with a special effect at all? I don't know. It feels like he needs something in that little gun, that gun arm of his, right? I don't know. I hope it comes with something because Jesus. All right, we can take off the helmet. It looks like, and we can have a little bit of fire going on with that skull. God, that's really cool. Look at that. Jesus Christ, this is awesome. What a cool Build-A-Figure. All right, I'm a little tempted now at this point, man. Admittedly. Yeah. The closer you look at him, the more you observe him, the cooler he looks. Yeah. This is nice, guys. God. All right, here's the Build-A-Figure wave all together. 7 action figures. All right, let me just put it out there, guys. I really prefer it when they do 6-figure waves as opposed to 7-figure waves. Cause 7 feels like a bit much. I mean, let's talk about this. These action figures are like $25 a crack, right? And they might be going up next year. I don't even know. But right now they're $25. And you know, $25 times 7, that's a pretty decent chunk of change, right? Like you buy 6 of them, that's already $150. $175 for a wave. That's asking a bit much. Now, not that McFarlane's Build-A-Figure waves are like particularly good or anything, because yeah, they really could have, Dextros. They really could have just they could have cut Fabian and put the Build-A-Figure part in with Wolverine, and then it would have been fine. I really wish they would get back to just 6-figure waves instead of doing these 7-figure waves. These 7-figure waves are too much. Like 6 is enough. 150 smackaroos for the whole wave is enough. 175 for the whole wave? Come on, Hasbro. Come on, man. That's too much. Like, you know, it's nice that they're spacing these waves out a little bit more than they have been, just to give people a little bit, collectors a little bit of relief for their wallets, right? I don't mind that because, you know, spending $175 at a time is a lot. Spending $150 on one of these at a time is a lot. But, you know, sometimes they really try to pad out these waves. Like, we've got several good action figures here. We've got Nightcrawler, we've got Morrow, Cyclops is pretty nice, Gambit's nice, I mean, Husk. I did criticize the body a little bit, but admittedly, the special effects in the face and the head sculpt, the other head sculpt, are really doing a lot of heavy lifting here, so that's pretty nice too. Wolverine's good. Worst action figure here, I think, is Fabian. They could have cut this one easy, and they would have had a really solid wave. Like this one, I think he just weakens the wave, and they could have just made it stronger by cutting him. And then, you know, you would have had a pretty slam dunk wave on your hands. But anyway, that's just me, John. Your mileage may vary. Maybe you think this, maybe you like Fabian. I don't know, guys. But anyway, both the Spider-Man and X-Men waves here are really nice. I'm pleasantly surprised by all these reveals, I think. Alright. Let me think here for a second, guys. Was there anything else that was revealed here recently? I think we've just about covered everything today, haven't we? I think we have. So let's go ahead and ask it, guys. Like, of all these new reveals, like, which ones are your favorites so far, guys? Go ahead and let me know in the comments here. Let's hear it, guys. We saw X-Men reveals, we saw Spider-Man reveals. Which ones are grabbing you? We got a lot of cool new stuff to look at, everybody. Wolverine and Gambit. Here's all the Spider-Man stuff for all the people who are coming in late, or at least the wave of Spider-Man stuff. A lot of cool looking new action figures, guys, from that Spider-Man wave. Spider-Man Unlimited was pretty cool. Chameleon was cool. Kane was cool. Agent Venom was cool. Electro was pretty cool too. I didn't like Spider-Boy. Spider-Boy was just kind of whatever. Wolverine and the Gambit. So Age of Apocalypse Gambit and Ultimate Wolverine for Red. I think my favorites today overall, I'd probably say Kane, Agent Venom. I like the Chameleon. I have to hand it to the Chameleon. I like the Chameleon. Age of Apocalypse Gambit. I liked Marrow pretty good. Let's see. Yeah. Wolverine wasn't bad. Nightcrawler wasn't bad. Yeah, those are probably all my favorites. I enjoyed them. Spider-Man No Way Home Lizard was pretty good too. Though I'm not the biggest Spider-Man No Way Home fan. Alright, X-Men still winning with 56% of the vote. 56%, huh? Wow, the X-Men really pulled out in front. That's fun. Alright, soulmates. I think those are all the reveals that we have to mention today. I think we've talked about them all. I haven't forgotten anything, have I? Here, let me look through all the images that I've pulled for today, because there were a lot of things. I tried to pull as much as I could so I didn't forget anything. And of course, if I did forget anything, well, I apologize. But that's why we're kind of scrolling through these right now. Alright, we covered the Lizard, we covered the Walmart 70s Spider-Man. We covered the Chameleon, of course, Agent Venom, Kane. All very cool releases, my friends. Spider-Man Unlimited, another good release. Spider-Boy was pretty ho-hum. Lady Electro, or just Electro. There's some more Age of Apocalypse Gambit, some more Nemesis. And then some more Professor Xavier Savage Land version. Alright, I think that's about it. Okay, good. We did get everything, I think. Excellent, guys. In that case, hope you enjoyed talking about these guys. And I appreciate everyone. Yeah, I appreciate everyone coming to hang out with me for a little while today. And I'd like to thank you for spending your time with me, everyone. I'm going to see everyone again later today, guys. Have a good afternoon in the meantime. And I'll be back over on TikTok a little bit later, and then I believe we're scheduled to go on Kick later too. So thank you again, guys. I'll catch you again soon. Thanks for all those likes again and for watching, everyone. And I'll see you again soon. Have a good day, everyone. I'll be back later. Bye-bye, guys.